All right, the last slide we're going to cover for the first portion of the lecture for this unit is another multiple choice question that obviously, if we were in class, we would have dove into and discussed in a little bit more detail. In the years following World War II, the countries of communist Eastern Europe were often referred to as being behind the Iron Curtain, which we already talked about, aka the Soviet or Eastern Bloc. Um, and these countries were perceived as a single region based on their, which would have been C, the economic and political characteristics of those countries. Again, those countries may not have fallen to the Soviet Union directly as falling into the name of the Soviet Union. However, they were basically satellite governments. I mentioned that a few slides back. And anything behind that Iron Curtain, to the east of that Iron Curtain that I showed you on the map earlier, was known as the Eastern Bloc, or sometimes referred to as the Soviet Bloc. They're interchangeable terms. And because they all shared that communist system and that political system of communism, complete government control, and etc., they are considered one region based on that. Okay, and that's why we have this Eastern Bloc, which is basically nothing more than satellite governments of the Soviet Unions. Kind of think of those countries as puppets. All right, you guys have probably all seen puppet shows where people control them with strings above them. The countries were the puppets, and the Soviet Union was one controlling the strings. So even though they weren't considered the Soviet Union, they were considered part of the Soviet Union under this Eastern Bloc idea. And this wraps up the first part of the lecture. I'll probably do another 2 sections of this lecture, kind of explaining all of this kind of stuff as we go through.